I have so many questions about charts and no one to help me. If only there was a place I could go to learn which doesn't cost a fortune.
There is such a place. It's my Patreon. It's £7.50 a month and you get 2 live streams a week. Ask me anything you like about any chart that you want.
What about trading platforms?
Well, in the video description I've got a link for all the best ones and you can get up to 20% off all your trading fees for life.
Thanks CryptoClick, you the man bro.
Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to look at Chainlink. If anyone remembers Chainlink, yeah, it's not very popular these days. People think it's a boomer's coin. It's old, it's like a typewriter. No one wants that. You want Shiba, don't you? You want something that pumps, don't you? You want something with a nice animal face on it. But you know, when it comes to crypto, it's not all about animal faces. You know, sometimes, you know, projects and long-standing chart history count for a lot. One thing we can take away from Chainlink is that in the last bear market, when you verse it against Bitcoin, it's actually performed relatively well. We worked this one out. It's pretty much common knowledge, to be honest with you. But here was your parabolic run. Pop in 2018, bear market ensued, and it found its bottom in July. If anyone was around in the last bear market, or at least the beginning of the next bull market, we didn't start to rally and actually form a bottom until at least December. By the time the bottom was in for the entire market, Chainlink had outperformed Bitcoin to the tune of 150%. And when it finally started the actual bull market and everything really started to rally in, where was it? April, I believe. April was where it really kicked off and found April, May. There you go, 600, almost 700%. Anyway, I'm boring you to death with previous analysis. We don't want to know about that. We want to know what's going on right now. What's going on right now? Well, we're actually approaching a major area of resistance and where things could get really interesting for Chainlink. So I've made a video, a little bit clickbaity, but based around some form of analysis about how the market could have already received a bottom. And if there's anything that's performed quite well when the market appears to have bottomed, it would be Chainlink, as we've already shown halfway through the last bear market, so 6 months in, it found its bottom versus its Bitcoin pair, and then when the market overall found the complete bottom, it was already up versus Bitcoin with 150%. So let's have a think about that now. So we might have found our bottom with our sats here, interestingly enough, around June, the same as it did in June 2018. And we're already up to a nice extent. And again, this is one of my hodl bags that I bought in the capitulation dump. We moved up to 79%. We're currently still up 68% versus its Bitcoin pair. This is what I like, because I like to accumulate Bitcoin through love or money. It doesn't matter how I do it. Well, I mean, I do have some, I do have some standards, but generally, it's doing very well versus its Bitcoin pair. And if we were to reclaim this area and start to build above it, we'll continue with this uptrend. And again, next time the bull market begins and continues, I think Chainlink would have been the obvious scenario to have picked up as it was midway through the last bear market. It wasn't obvious then, but at least we can look at this and go, history may be repeating. It's an old chart. This is why we like old charts, because they have previous history that we can refer to see what type of behavior that they have, whether it's in sideways, up markets, down markets, whatever. It also likes to respond to signals, as we've seen recently, a nice big pump signal. Now, talking of signals, let's take it over to its tether pairing, right? This is one of the signals that we like. We like these pump signals generated on the Itchy cloud. We've got one going on the daily chart here. So green portion of the cloud, closures above the cloud, GQ span above the cloud, and a cross which is formed all the way down here. 4 components suggesting a pump will take place at some point soon, right? It's a daily chart. We could give this a week or two maybe before this even plays, but the chart has developed a buy signal and it is there now. So obviously, you know, if you're looking for entry points, that's for you to decide. It's not for me to tell you. Again, I bought this on the capitulation low down here, and I'm hoping to hold this for a very long time. I see Chainlink is really being a big performer of the next bull market. It's not going to do the 100x that people like, although it is possible that it could do 100x. For me, that would mean it'd have to go to $600. Seems a little far-fetched, but you know, I remember buying BNB when it was $6. So, and see what happened to that. So this pump signal would suggest where we're going to go is the next area of major resistance, which is the obvious place is going to be the 200 exponential or simple, giving us a target of around about $11 at the moment, you know, give or take $11, which from this very moment in time is a 23% move to a 26% move. And you know, if we're thinking about this as far as an uptrend is concerned, with a delay maybe that's going to form on this signal, an obvious place to try try to pick it up would be on its 10 exponential. So you're talking about the sort of like the, well, if it were to happen today, it's about $8.35. But like I say, for me, it's not so much about the entry points. It's just about confirming the strength of the trend and the signals that are playing, as well as recognizing that Chainlink did perform very well in the last bear market. Seems to be doing the same thing again. We're above all major moving averages on its Bitcoin pair on the daily, and which you know, like I say, you cannot fault that. So as far as a hodl bag is concerned, I'm very pleased with myself that I picked this one up. I bit the bullet when it came down to that $6 entry, and put in, you know, like I say, quite a sizable bid, and I refuse to be shaken out of this one, right? So this isn't a trade, although I'm showing you supports and resistances. For me, there's no trading going on here. This is a hodl, right? And I spoke about this on the Telegram or on the Discord a little bit. There's a difference, right, when it comes to trading and hodling. Trading is all very, very good. The taxman will love you for it, right? So again, you know, it's I don't know how much you trade, but again, if you trade for a living, obviously everything's taxable. Hodl bags, though, can come through way better, and they can demolish all the trading you've done for almost the entire year. I used the example on the, you know, when I was talking last night on the Discord or Telegram, that, you know, I traded Matic over and over again. It was a really good chart to trade. You know, it was, sometimes it would move against the market. You would get 2x's, sometimes 4x's trades, right? And I did that several times. You know, made really good Matic trades. But I also had a hodl bag that I'd bought about 1.2 cent. Probably my average buy-in for the hodl bag was, I'd call it probably about 1.6 cent, and that was all stashed away for what I thought the holy grail would be at least $1 and potentially $4, right? And forget about all the trading that I did. All those epic trades out the window, really, when it came to what the hodl bag did in the end, which basically did me over 100x. So, I mean, you've got to put it into context. Sometimes hodling is the best scenario, especially if you're hodling something with, well, from what you believe has got fundamental value to it. Now, I have to say that I do have some other hodl bags that didn't work out very well at all. Ocean Protocol, for instance, that was a hodl bag. You know, I accumulated that. Probably my average buy for that was probably around 35 cents, and we're below that now. So that has been a complete failure, right? So not all hodl bags are created equal, right? Some of them just don't work, but the ones that do work, if they do work at all, they work pretty well. So I'm just putting it out there that Chainlink is a very strong chart. History is repeating itself. In the bear market, it increased its sats. Seems to have done it again this time to a decent extent. You know, when the bear market's over and the bull market begins, it should continue to outperform Bitcoin as it did before. We're approaching this resistance now on the Bitcoin chart. That's not far from where we are, really. And we've got the buy signal, that pump signal on the daily that's going to take us up by 25%. I strongly believe that this has been a decent buy from back down at that $6 entry, and I'm very happy just to leave this to play for years, for 2-3 years, until there's a very significant top in the overall market or its own chart specifically, where I'll take all the chips off the table. I'm not targeting $600. I'm not targeting anything specific. I just very strongly believe that Chainlink was too good to ignore when it came down to that capitulation in the market. It used to be a really top performer. It had its own thing going on. It blew its own top off on its own. You can see that over here. And then since then it's been consolidating ever since. And it was still within the consolidation. This is still a consolidation with its sats. We could see lower sats on this one. Absolutely no problem at all. But just putting it out there, it's a good chart, good history, good setup, good signals, but it's not a trade, it's hodl, and I'll be looking for much higher prices over the coming years on this one. Right, I'm going to leave with you there. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.